Greetings, on-demand training listeners. My name is Lark Doley. I was the 2018-2019 Toastmasters International President, and I am honored to be here today to speak to you on the topic of inspiration. I had the privilege to speak on this topic to the region advisors after the 2022 Toastmasters International Convention in Nashville, Tennessee. Our 2022-2023 Toastmasters International President, Matt Kinsey, had asked me to present on this topic. Today, we will discuss the definition of inspiration, what and who inspires us, and why inspiration is important. In the second section, we will discuss the book Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And we will end today's presentation discussing why quality clubs are so important to the Toastmasters International organization. What inspires you? On a daily basis, I am inspired by my environment. If you look at my background, you see a lighthouse. That is actually my home. And in the morning, the sun rises to the east and the sun sets to the west of my home. And during the evening hours and early morning, I can see deer roaming my yard. These inspire me. Who inspires me? On a daily basis, I am inspired by Toastmasters members around the world. And at our Toastmasters International Convention in Nashville, I was inspired by the inaugural address of our president, Matt Kinsey, and our Golden Gavel recipients presentation from Dr. Shirley Davis. As I said, on a daily basis, I am inspired by our members and our organization. If we know what inspires us and who inspires us, then we must have some idea of the definition of inspiration. So when you think about the definition of inspiration, how do you define it? I define it as incredibly positive, emotional experiences that propel me to take action. But when we look at the origin of inspiration and we look at Webster's definition, inspire comes from the Latin inspirare, which means to breathe or blow life into. It came into common usage in the 14th century, and it dealt with supernatural influence. When we look at the Webster's definition, inspiration is the process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something, the quality of being emotionally influenced or motivated to action by something or someone. Why is inspiration important? I believe that inspiration is important because it propels us to act. And again, if you look at my lighthouse home, inspiration propelled my husband and me to build this home. We saw Portland Head, Maine Lighthouse in 1997, and visiting that lighthouse and the incredibly inspirational beauty of that lighthouse made us consider building a lighthouse in Central Texas on Lake Travis. I will tell you that inspiration propelled us forward in spite of common sense and our bank account. And now I have the privilege to reside in this home, truly a result of inspiration. How can we inspire others? I've created these 4 C's that I think will help you and I inspire others. And the first is that we need to connect with those we want to inspire. We need to find out who they are. We need to ask them questions, learn personal information about them. We need to gain their trust and develop a relationship with them in order to be able to inspire them. We need to model the Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence. They're inspiring in themselves. Then we need to communicate clearly and frequently. And we need to communicate as Toastmasters recommends, which means that we begin with listening, and we listen with both of our ears. Then we think before we speak. And I will tell you, this is the most difficult part for me because I tend to speak before I think. Toastmasters is teaching me, but it is a developmental process for me. And third, we need to ask open-ended questions so that we can gain the information we need to understand those with whom we are communicating and those we want to inspire and gain empathy. Lastly, we will then speak thoughtfully and positively. And the fourth C is we need to show that we care. We need to show that we care through motivation, encouragement, and support. Through these 4 C's, we can inspire one another. I also came across an incredibly inspiring article in the Toastmasters website that was published in February 2008 in our Toastmasters magazine. And it's called The 7 Secrets of Inspiring Leaders by Carmine Gallo. I highly encourage you to look up this article from the Toastmasters magazine on our Toastmasters website. There are 7 principles of inspiring leaders in this article, and it begins with demonstrating enthusiasm constantly. If we are passionate about a subject, then we will demonstrate enthusiasm, and that enthusiasm will be inspiring. We need to articulate a compelling vision. And when we think about Bill Gates wanted a computer on every desk in every home. That was his compelling vision. Pretty compelling, don't you think? Then we need to sell the benefits. This is the why. We need to sell why individuals should care, why individuals should want to participate, what's in it for them. We can do this by telling more stories. Stories are inspiring, and stories make the points that we want our listeners to understand. Invite participation. Inspiring leaders invite their employees, their followers, to give them input. Then they listen to that input and they act on that input and incorporate that input into the vision. Reinforce an optimistic outlook. Richard Branson says that if we praise our employees, they will excel. If we criticize them, they will shrivel up. That's an image, isn't it? We need to tell our employees, tell the members of our clubs how wonderful they are. We need to praise them. And finally, encouraging potential. This is the what of our organization. We need to groom our members as future leaders of our organization. We need to encourage their potential in speaking and in leadership. The why is to sell the benefits. The how is to invite participation. And the what is to encourage their potential. How many of you know who Simon Sinek is? And how many of you have read his book, Start With Why? And the full title is Start With Why, How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. If you have not read this book, I highly encourage you to do so. And Simon Sinek begins this book with 3 inspirational stories. The first story is the story of Orville and Wilbur Wright, the individuals who flew a heavier than air-powered aircraft without any funding and inspired the world to decide to develop aircraft. Martin Luther King Jr., whose I Have a Dream speech, inspired the civil rights movement in the United States. And Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs from Apple, who inspired the personal computer revolution. In his book, Start With Why, Simon Sinek talks about the golden circle. And because all of you should know that I love gold, this was inspiring to me. And the golden circle is a model for the predictability of human behavior. And it says that most organizations start from the outside of the circle to the interior of the circle, because all organizations know what they do. They know the products or services that they offer. Some organizations know how they do it, which is their competitive advantage. But few organizations actually understand why they do what they do, the reason behind their organization, the purpose of their organization, the very reason for their existence. But Simon Sinek says that if we begin from the inside of the circle and start with why, move to how, and then to what, that we will inspire our people to act instead of manipulating them to act. And that inspiration will develop loyalty and momentum. If we look at the brain, we can understand why this is actually true. The limbic part of our brain is the emotional center of our brain, but it's also the decision-making part of our brain. So that's the why of our brain. Now, the neocortex is actually the rational thought part of our brain, the higher order thinking part of our brain, and it is the language center as well. So the limbic system does not include language, but the neocortex system does. So now you may be able to understand why it is difficult for us to express our emotions in words, and why we often resort to stories or to symbols in order to express our emotions. That's why organizations have a marketing department, a branding department, in order to express that why in words, symbols, and graphics. The what is in the neocortex. The why is in the limbic system. And of course, we need both, but we should always start with why. Simon's main tenet in this book is people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Why is Toastmasters inspiring? I've already expressed to you that I believe that Toastmasters is inspiring at every one of our meetings because of what our members share with us during those meetings. And our events, our speakers, our keynote speakers, our workshops, our Golden Gavel recipients, our communication leadership recipients, all of this is inspiring. But when we look at the true reasons behind inspiration in our organization, I believe it's based in our mission statements. Our international mission statement says we empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. We have a district mission, a club mission, our core values, and our envisioned future. All of these are inspiring, and I believe that all of these are the my why of Toastmasters. Our organizational structure. Members join clubs, and that is the foundation of our organizational structure. Our clubs are supported by areas, areas by divisions, divisions by districts, districts by regions. Our board of directors sets the strategic direction of our organization, and our world headquarters staff supports all of us. I believe that our organizational structure is our how, our competitive advantage. Yes, other organizations teach communication and leadership skills, but in our organization, we practice and receive feedback on those skills, and then we learn how to improve those skills and grow competent in those skills. Pathways, our educational program. This is the what of our organization. Our members learn 300 plus competencies to help transform their personal and their professional lives through our Pathways educational program. That is our what. Have you heard the stories of your members? Do you know why they joined Toastmasters? Have you shared why you joined Toastmasters with your clubs? We need to share our my whys. We need to continuously have a new my why. Every time we achieve our first my why, we need a second my why. And we need to encourage our members to set their first goal and then their second goal. And we hope that everyone will continue to remain members of our organization, to continue to empower their communication and leadership skills through Toastmasters. Our third and final section is why we need quality clubs. When we think about the definition of a quality club, or in my book, a golden club, this is the definition. A high-quality club encourages and celebrates member achievement, provides a supportive and fun environment, and offers a professionally organized meeting with variety. Club officers are trained in all aspects of club quality to ensure that members receive a formal mentoring program, are provided with evaluations that help them grow, and are motivated to achieve their goals. That's the quality club definition, and I believe that definition is pretty inspiring. Why do we need quality clubs? So that our members can achieve their my why, their first my why, their second, and so forth. How do we develop quality clubs? It begins with trained club officers fulfilling their responsibilities, and every member participating in our club meetings. And what makes a quality club is that members are achieving their my why in our clubs. Let's look further at some of the distinct features of a quality club. It begins with the club achieving their mission statement, fulfilling the my why of each member. That is a quality club. The club officers have to be sure that they fulfill their responsibilities. And that begins with each club officer attending training and learning their roles. Let's look at the Vice President Public Relations. That individual is responsible for promoting the club. And by the way, they can have a team, a VPPR team for their club, and that team will promote the club. The Sergeant at Arms ensures a golden first impression. And in one district, I had a person say that the Sergeant at Arms is actually the Vice President of First Impressions. Our VP membership converts those guests who have been promoted to attend by the Vice President Public Relations and have been greeted by the Sergeant at Arms, converts those guests into members who want to achieve their why. And that's the responsibility of the Vice President Education, to be sure that the VP Education knows the my why of each member and ensures that they are scheduled in the club meetings to achieve their my why. The secretary and the treasurer manage the administrative and financial responsibilities of the club, and the president leads the club to fulfill the club mission. These are the responsibilities of the club officers. We want every club to be a wow factor club. And I will tell you, during my term as president, we had the wow factor campaign. We wanted each club to understand their wow factor. And we wanted them to ensure that their guests understood their wow factor. And that begins with quality club meetings and Toastmasters members whose lives are transformed by achieving their personal and professional goals in Toastmasters. The why, achieving the club mission. The how, through our club officers and our club meetings, because The what is when our members are achieving their goals in our club meetings. It begins with the club officers, the dedicated and trained club officers. Club success is ensured by them. There's a club quality page on the Toastmasters website, and it shows resources to support club quality. Why should guests join your club? What makes your club special, unique? What is your club's value proposition? I belong to 3 clubs. 2 of my clubs are community clubs, and the third is a corporate club. I believe that my community clubs are dedicated to offering a fun, supportive, positive environment for the members of our clubs. One of those clubs meets at night, and I believe that's a value proposition for those people who cannot attend a meeting during the day. My other community club meets on Saturday mornings, and again, that's a value proposition for those who do not have time during the week to spend enriching themselves, but do have time on the weekends. And of course, my third club is a corporate club, and we want all of the employees of Maximus to reap the benefits of the Maximus Toastmasters Club. The club quality checklist. How many of your clubs are using the club quality checklist to evaluate your club? I encourage all clubs to use the club quality checklist, and you can have your members complete this club quality checklist, and the officers can complete it as well. The officers could discuss their answers, but then they need to see the answers of the members of their club and look at those answers to evaluate whether their responses as officers are the same as the responses of their members, and then take action to improve the quality of their clubs according to the needs of their clubs as evaluated by their club members. So this is one way that you can determine the quality of your club. Another way that you can determine the quality is to conduct moments of truth. I encourage you to conduct moments of truth twice a year, at least twice a year. It's great to conduct it at the beginning of every Toastmasters year in July, and then again in January, and evaluate the 6 areas of moments of truth. First impressions, membership orientation, fellowship, variety, and communication, program planning and meeting organization, membership strength, and achievement recognition. I hope that you will use the moments of truth to evaluate the quality of your club at least twice a year. The Distinguished Club Program. This is a way for our organization to evaluate the quality of your club. It's a way for you to evaluate it, and it's a way for our organization to evaluate the quality of your club as well. So I hope that you are pursuing the 10 goals in the Distinguished Club Program, and these circle around education, membership, training, and administration. There are goals for each one of these areas that ensure club quality. Did your club officers complete the new club success plan for this year? I hope that you did, because this is another way to ensure club quality and to ensure that each club officer understands their responsibilities to the club and to the quality of the club. If you've not seen this club marketing guide, I hope that you will again go out to the Toastmasters website, download this club marketing guide, and use this to help market your club. Look at the categories of information in this guide: flyers, brochures, events like open houses. It has information for corporate clubs, which are a little different than our community clubs, web tools, branding, and converting guests to members. Please download this club marketing guide and use it. Member engagement. Are you conducting new member orientation? Are you asking each of your new members to fill out the member interest survey? That's one way to find out the my why of each of the members of our clubs. It is important that we have a formal induction of each of our new members, that we assign mentors to each one of them, that we discuss the Pathways educational program and be sure that they are enrolled in their first path and they continue to be enrolled in future paths after they complete their first path. The learning needs assessment that is there for our new members, and it's a way to help them determine their path and pathways. We also need to be sure that if we have members with disabilities, that we talk with them about accommodations for them. We need to get them signed up immediately for their icebreaker and discuss the fact that they need to sign up for speaking roles to ensure that they achieve their My Why, and keep them involved in our club meetings on a regular basis. And then I hope that your club also has outside activities and has celebrations, at least on an annual basis. One of my clubs is making a road trip this week. Our Toastmasters International President, Matt Kinsey, is focused on being the kind of president that we need. He says we need inspiration right now. We need focus. There are so many distractions. He explains that leaders can get distracted from their district or club mission, and he wants to motivate our leaders to hone in on what their members need to achieve their district or club mission. We need courage, he says, not just on my part as president, but courage on the part of the board, our region advisors, and our district leaders. And I say we need courage from our club leaders as well. Whatever I can do to inspire people to have courage, I think that's what we're needing right now. He says that he believes in the combination of heart-led and head-led leadership. He is ready to make a difference in his time as the 2022-2023 Toastmasters International President. He wants to inspire us to act. Are you ready to inspire action? Thank you for listening today. I have been so privileged to lead an inspired life. My parents saw a movie before I was born, actually before my brother was born, and the name of the heroine in the movie was Lark. They decided if they ever had a daughter, they would name her Lark. I love my name, and many people have complimented me on my name. My name is inspiring to me on a daily basis. Throughout my life, I've been inspired by my parents, by my friends, by all of you. My husband inspired me by building a lighthouse home in honor of his father, my father-in-law, whom we both adored. My father-in-law loved the sea and served in the Royal Navy in England during World War II. He inspired us to build a lighthouse home in his honor. And after my husband's death in 2014, this house remains an inspiration to both of these men whom I adored. Inspiration is a powerful tool that can propel us to action. It certainly has propelled me to action in Toastmasters. I hope that Toastmasters has also inspired you, and I hope that we will share it with others to inspire them. Thank you so much for listening today to this presentation on inspiration. I hope that you have gained some insights into the definition of inspiration, to Simon Sinek's book on Start With Why, and how that should inspire us as leaders to begin with why. And finally, why quality clubs are so important to inspire our members to act on their My Whys, to achieve their My Whys through Toastmasters.